reunited and it feels so...
Quints.
Quints. I mean, that's
Quints.
the truth, but I was going to say, fine, okay.
All right.
Welcome back, folks. Been a while, so I don't remember quite how to do this. This is a whole new pod, a podcast all about watching Disney Channel original movies and talking about them, I think.
I think, too.
And I think this is where I say, I'm Lucas Melby.
And I think I'm Jacob Delajohn. It's been a while.
Yes, well, horse sense, not horse sense. Ready to Run.
Really drained us.
Yes,
really took it off.
It brought us to the pits of despair, and we needed a break because we didn't want to lose energy. We didn't lose energy for that one, but we wanted to maintain our excitement for DCOMs.
I mean, we were worried going into today's film, too.
We thought it was going to be a 2 in a row of just
dutter.
low points.
Yeah, but
luckily, Quints
disappoint.
Full of surprises.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were a little busy. I think one weekend I had a wedding I went to. Jacob is just a very popular person. He's got stuff going on. So
All
we were
the
just
time.
taking our time, biding our time, but we're back. Silver lining, though, about Ready to Run is just like Alley Cat's strike, Amazon refunded my money for the rental.
Wow. They just thought it was just too crappy again.
Yeah, so the worst movie we've watched, I got my money back, so that feels pretty good. I think I've maybe picked up on what something could be related to it, because for both of those movies, Alley Cat's Strike and Ready to Run, it had one of their made-for-the-movie songs that I pulled the audio from to put into the final episode of the podcast. So when we're recording, like right now, we're using my laptop, but my laptop doesn't have the right sound card for me to be able to do an internal recording, so I use my PC for that. So both of those, I've done the internal audio recording. So I don't know if that is just the secret. That's the secret hack where I can just get refunded. I mean, we're going to have Disney Plus soon, so it won't be an issue, but...
I think we might have to test that out.
Well, there's some audio I think I want to sample from this episode anyways, so we'll see if I get that money back.
You just hook it up to then your TV? It looks like that?
It's technical behind-the-scenes stuff.
That's cool.
It doesn't really matter.
Well, we found an exploit, and if you want...
I mean, I'm just trying to find a common denominator.
Details to that, and, email us, tip us, and we'll...
I'm all for saving as much money related to renting these movies, which is why I prepaid for 3 years of Disney Plus.
Jesus.
Yeah, I'm not super happy about it either, but... Something I'm surprisingly a bit happier about was the DCOM we watched today.
It's Quints.
It's Quints.
It's Quints.
All right, we gotta maintain our composure a bit more. We'll get to more of...
why we're saying that.
What is Quints?
What is Quints?
Quints is a movie that doesn't beat around the bush because we get into it right away, get the title card, and we're seeing newspaper clippings that are explaining very much about what this movie is going to be about, which is quintuplets.
Yeah, and my understanding or remembrance was that we wouldn't see this for a while, but I guess it was a rewind, or it was a fast forward.
It's a little unconventional what they do.
She's like not even on like a timeline. She's in like an alternate universe talking about the past, but not in the future.
Jamie is a greater being. She transcends space and time. She is Quints in the true quintessential sense of the term.
Yeah. And she's also a narrator.
We're all over the place right here, but yes, we're getting those newspaper clippings, and we see our main character, Jamie, who is played by the same actress who played Marnie in Halloween Town.
Jamie Grover.
So, for most of this movie, I probably will just call her Marnie.
Which is acceptable.
Marnie is out there making us very clear with what's going on, just besides these newspaper clippings. She's like, hey, see what this is? This is what this movie's about. Quintuplets. And she's very fourth wall breaking constantly. It's basically a combination of all of the heavy
She's staring into your soul.
Heavy narration movies we've had with the side kind of cutaway vignettes of Miracle and Lane 2 kind of combined. So she's constantly breaking the fourth wall. If she's narrating, it's more often than not that she's actually directly talking within the frame as her character, but other people just aren't picking up on it. Yeah. Much more like Malcolm in the Middle than even Miracle and Lane 2.
Yeah.
I've been hard about the narration in some of the movies, but this is it's a fun, interesting take on it that could be a little obnoxious at times because she is an unreliable narrator, where she constantly we're in these scenes that seem fantastical or terrible or all over the place, and Marnie Jamie, we'll just say.
Marnie Jamie.
Did you really fucking believe this?
That's literally what she says, and that's how the movie like fades out too. It's just constantly like just fucking with you, just fooling around.
And with how upfront she is, she says, "I bet you're thinking this is gonna be about another one of those girls finding herself stories." Well, it is, but it's not gonna be boring. I'm like, is she?
Disclaimer.
Is she just describing any DCOM you could ever watch that is basically some kind of coming of age, finding yourself stories? So I kind of appreciate it. I'm somebody who enjoys lots of meta commentary, meta narratives. So Quints is self-aware, very much so. The narration continues quickly on where she introduces her parents who, like any intro of parents in a DCOM, have very weirdly specific idiosyncrasies about them.
Jim Grover, who is trying to better himself.
It's not clear. It seems like he's trying to pursue some kind of higher education. Like
he wants to get a degree because it'll get him another promotion within the Menards company that he's working at.
Or hardware company of Menards. I don't know how. Menards is somewhat national, or maybe regional as a hardware store company.
Because he's the department manager currently.
But yeah, he's very
working 110 hours a week.
Eventually.
Yeah.
He's very detail oriented, and his thing is always, I need to have a plan. He's always planning.
Yeah.
So then we get a weird freeze frame of him after he throws up papers in frustration. It's just a freeze frame on him. Then we see the mom who is kind of supposed to be quirky, that we're told that she's all over the place.
She's pouring milk.
No, she's pouring orange juice and coffee. And we're like, oh, is she going to screw up the cups? Because she's pouring them at the same time. We see a freeze frame, and all that really seems like we're supposed to focus on is that maybe she's just pouring both at the same time, or there's slight spillage of coffee.
I think what they were kind of trying to show. So, I mean, then we go to Marnie, Jamie, who does flub up. She spills grape juice all over herself.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so like her mom and her dad are doing maybe these complicated things and surviving, and she gets to this easy thing and fucks up. I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, so then we finally cut back to Marnie. She's, I don't know, still going on talking about something. She opens the fridge, takes out I can't even remember if
it was purple.
But it was like in like a pitcher, or like it was, I don't know. It seemed like it was like a weird glass flag
set up
or
for
something.
Failure.
And she just pours it directly out of her face, and she might have well just turned to the camera and gone, "That's Marnie.
It's Quints.
It's Quints." Oh, okay. So she continues talking to the camera, and this is where we start getting her first sets of line. She's also set up
this is when she leaves the house, right? She's outside in the street, and she
says, "This is my hometown of Milford. Bet you want to know what's so special about Milford." Well,
boom!
Right over here is what we're famous for, and we see kind of like a monster
huge.
Creeping over somebody's house.
The Statue of Liberty's head. Yeah.
So for a second, I'm like, oh, is this just supposed to be somewhere in New York, like a suburb of New York City, where it's within view? Unrealistically, the Statue of Liberty, because again, like most special effects in DCOMs,
they look awful.
It looks very fake, and then it's because it is fake, and we're stupid for believing it.
And it slowly
disintegrates, dissolve effect on it.
Yeah, it was entertaining.
And with all of her narration right here, Marnie is also saying that all of this has already happened, and this is all lead up to the main story, where we're going to learn about her. How she used to be versus how she'll eventually become. And weirdly enough, even though that is certainly not as long as in Stepsister from Planet Weird, where we get a half hour of flashbacks.
Yes, correct. This is like 5 minutes.
Something about it being so upfront about it is kind of refreshing. That Quints was like, yeah, fuck it, this is a flashback. So, I don't know, it's weird. Marnie goes to school where we meet her friend Zoe, who is played by the main girl of The Color of Friendship, the not racist one.
Yes. Well, debatable.
No, we've already been through this. Being mad about a racist being in your house is not equivalent to being racist. All right. And Brad, who is a weird kind of combination of... It's not clear because his actor's not the best, that he's sometimes... supposed to seem cool, but his acting so bad is that he sometimes just sounds sarcastic. So it's like, is he actually cool? But yeah, he's also super science, super smart guy.
Yeah.
Who is kind of the bane or friendly rivalry between Marnie and Brad because Brad's really good at school. We learn that Marnie's kind of struggling with her grades.
Yeah, that's fair.
Zoe and Brad in this scene are like, hey, Marnie, come hang out with us. And she's like, no, I gotta work on my science project. Again, talking to the camera. She's like, my parents have such high expectations for me.
I gotta get into this whatever school. I don't remember.
Yeah, so it seems like she must be... I think she's 14, so she's
going into high school.
Yeah, but she's trying to get into, I guess, maybe a private or more like technical school where she needs to apply or get good enough
for
grades.
Math and science.
Some kind of, I think it's George Washington Magnet School or something.
Does sound right, yeah.
It's where her parents want her to go because she can get into college, and it's very focused about science, which Marnie is not a big fan of. All this we're just seeing how hard Marnie is working. She's busy. She's getting all these pressures from her parents. And it all culminates in a scene where Marnie is sitting at the table with her parents. They're talking, driving her crazy. And she just screams. And the camera zooms into her mouth.
So do we think this is in one of her like fake scenarios where she's screaming?
Yes, she's not actually. That's the thing. Yeah, visibly she's screaming externally, but it's actually an internal scream. Yeah, so it's a little confusing. And then pulls back out where she's screaming in a different scene where she's talking to Brad, working on her science project or something. Talking to Brad on the phone.
Yes,
and then. Her science project's done. We see the outcome where at first it's set up that she won and her
parents are all happy and excited for her.
But we soon find out that if anything seems too good to be true in one of these scenes,
it's probably too good to be true.
It's fake. Brad actually wins, and we get a little bit of foreshadowing where Brad is visited by Marnie's parents. They come over to his project's booth and they're like, "Oh, Brad, congratulations on winning! I bet your parents are so proud." And he's like, "Yeah, if only." And his parents aren't there. And Marnie, all she's really getting out of it is, my parents. I wish they would look at me like they look at Brad, or they could be proud of me for once.
Yeah,
but they're not because hey. I will say, Jamie I like a lot more than Marnie, but if Marnie was my kid, I'd be fucking pissed about it. Speaking of Halloween Town Marnie, I know that's confusing since I've just been referring to this character as Marnie. To be even, again, more upfront about like the themes or whatever, we've established that Marnie's character she's an only child, by the way.
Yes.
She doesn't like all the attention,
and
pressure she's getting from her parents.
Yeah.
And she literally says to the camera, be careful what you wish for. And reading the plot synopsis for this movie, it's like, this is one of those be careful what you wish for. Like a classic Goosebumps storyline.
Yeah.
But less scary. Though, in a way, maybe realistically scary, because I wouldn't like to be in this situation. No. Right after she gives us the thematic drop of this movie, she goes into her house where she comes into a conversation of her parents being like, oh, how are we going to tell Marnie? So Marnie's like, what's up? So her dad finally musters it up and he says, your mom's pregnant. And Marnie says, oh, that's cool. Because she's already starting to be like, ooh, this can get some of the attention off of me. Oh, that's awesome. Why were you so worried about telling me? And her mom's like, well, it's something about how I got pregnant or how I am pregnant. And then Marnie's like, well, I know what you told me. You said... It was when
two people love each other.
It was one of those.
They're like, no.
One of those funny kind of if a parent's in the room nudging and like, that's a sex joke.
Yeah.
Welcome to this DreamWorks movie.
But the father, I think, first says it's much bigger. What is he?
No, the mom says, but I'm really pregnant, and the dad says, really pregnant. Right. And I'm like, yes, this is what I need. No, I'm not one of those people. So I don't know if we really get in this scene quite exactly what it means by really pregnant.
Yeah, I don't think they say 5 then. It's not until the scene.
They do not say it's Quints. But they cut to a montage then of there's...
we should also imply why we're saying that, why that's so funny. Prior to watching the movie, Lucas looked it up on Wikipedia.
Or IMDb.
IMDb. And they had like 2 quotes. And that was one of them.
Yeah,
it's
IMDb.
Quints, that's it.
I was bored at work, and I know IMDb for more popular movies has sections of like trivia and like goofs and blooper stuff. Only there was quotes and trivia, and there was only 2 quotes, and one of them was just, it's Quints. And I, had not seen the movie, found that very funny, and having seen it, it's still fairly enjoyable.
Yes.
Once we find out about how really pregnant the mom is, we get a montage of the family, all 3 of them getting together to get the baby room ready.
Yep. It takes a while.
Yeah, see...
And something that I noticed, too, like the mother is not gaining any weight. All these months, it does, like, like, January, February, March, April, May, June, like goes through like every month, and
there's title cards at the bottom of the screen.
They're taking stuff out of the room. So they're bringing stuff in, and months are passing.
5 or 6 months, and she doesn't seem to be showing.
Her belly hasn't changed at all until boom, it's just huge. She's just
all the time. We know it's Quints,
yes.
But, and then it cuts to her. Not even wearing like a pregnant suit. It's like she's just wearing a fat suit. Yeah. It's quite extensive. So then it's the day of the birth. They rush her to the hospital. Yeah, very true. Marnie is there, which I was the last.
It's normal,
I don't know. I was the last child born with my family, so I can't say if my brothers were there. But
it seems normal, but
Marnie's like 13 or 14, which is already weird that her parents are having a kid after that long of a period. But, so maybe she has more of an interest. What's extra weird is that not just Zoe, but Brad's are also there. So then.
And they have suckers.
Yeah, so I guess that's maybe a thing for kids to do, because I know...
Rather than cigars.
Yeah, when people have babies, sometimes people give out cigars.
Blue cigars, pink cigars, but they had blue and red suckers.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
I thought
so yeah, that's what they had them in their hands, and then that's when they... And then there was
that makes sense.
There was 2 random people in there, and they would announce all the names. I don't remember, Adam, so they...
We remember it was Adam...
Eddie.
I think it's like Adam, Charlie... Eddie,
3 boys, 2
Debbie,
girls.
And I don't remember the other girl's name.
But yeah, for each one they'd say him, and then the couple at first was like, "Oh, cool," and then they get another one. They're like, "Okay." And then as soon as they got to like the 3rd and 4th, they're like, "Jesus," And then this is when the moment happens.
Yeah, so this happens where the dad keeps poking his head out to say the kid's name that was born, and he slowly gets drained of energy and excitement. Yes. So they find out it's 5. That's the final number, and Zoe, Marnie's friend, is like, this is amazing. It's I can't even think. It's and then the guy goes, it's Quints. Not quite in that inflection, but of course, after saying it jokingly a lot of the time, it made me think of the Bare Naked Ladies song, One Week. So I just go, it's Quints.
Also, I should say those 2 that were getting all the suckers were also able to give back. They started giving the father, they gave him, headache medication, and...
I would hope it was only that, because it's illegal to share prescription medication. Here's some Oxycodone. And then the dad became addicted to opioids. Yeah. And that's really what the problem was.
That's where the
5 babies weren't expensive. It was his opioid habit that was too much for the family to bear.
Couldn't support the diapers. Baby rash for everyone.
So the kids are brought home, and it's a crazy, seemingly first day where it's his baby's crying and needing changing constantly. And Marnie, at a later day, is getting excited that she feels this freedom, that now her parents aren't paying too much attention to her. She's trying to figure out how she's going to live her life. Yeah. And I just what is Marnie going to be like? I'm going to fuck my life right up. I'm just going to go skip school, do drugs, not worry about my grades. But no, she's like, what should I do, Mr. Teacher? And the teacher's like, how about you join art club? And whoa, what a rebellious thing. True. Because within this dichotomy that the movie creates is her parents really want her to focus on science. Marnie doesn't like science, but she also says she doesn't like art. It'll change as she does like art.
Drastically.
But it's either art or science.
That's it.
And that's it.
I mean, the babies have other options of being lawyers and biologists, marine biologists, and all these other.
And it's really funny, or it's just interesting that, so she joins art club, but at this school, it's treated as if art club was an actual class or something, where the teacher's like, well, you know what's great about art club? There's no grades. And it's like, yeah, it's a fucking club. If I joined an extracurricular and got graded in school, I would have been pissed. So she's contemplating joining art club, and then She has Zoe come over for, I found this scene kind of funny. This scene had the other quote from IMDb, but it's not really important to go into that. It's Quints. So who cares?
Could never be.
And then the mom immediately rubs Zoe into trying to change diapers.
And we see dirty diapers. Not just once, but like twice. Like, I'm talking like shit on the diapers. It was kind of weird.
There was a little there was very egregious farting and pooping sound effects in one scene, but it was basically contained to like 2 to like 3 scenes and very like minor things.
Yeah, I mean, they say, maybe they might have said dirty diapers, but like, you know, you'd say maybe they're going to make all these farting and poop jokes, but they really did. And it was pee jokes than anything.
It was fairly,
really
pee jokes, fairly restrained, and I appreciated that.
Yeah.
But luckily, Zoe is saved from not having to change the diapers because we get the appearance of short-lived character Fiona the nanny, who is
she really
Irish,
stuck with me as a kid, and I had this memory that
quite the impression.
Yeah, that she was like in the whole movie, like just ruining it the whole time.
She was in for the long run.
Yeah, maybe like 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah, she's slightly Irish, so I'll try my best impersonation where she's like, "Oh, hello."
Hello.
If I could hear her right before this.
Hello, Quints.
But
who are you? You're not part of the immediate family. Get out.
Yep, that's what she says to Zoe, and Zoe's like, "Fucking, I don't care, bitch. Get me out of here."
Yeah, she's like, "Bye, Grovers."
So she's very, I don't know if the correct term is like anal retentive, but she's very all systematic. So she gives the babies numbers. Yeah. She starts charting when they're...
She etches it on their arms. 3, 0, 4, 2, 5.
She starts, charting when they poop or pee. So
yep, all times. Then she has like stopwatches going, and then like one of them will like fart, and she's like, "Oh, right on time, Adam."
So that made me
right on time, 03457.
So yeah, she's really overbearing and obnoxious, and she kind of has Marnie helping her, but then she tells Marnie like, "No, go and pursue your interests." So Marnie goes to art club.
Everybody wants Marnie to pursue her interests and just stay out of the picture. A running theme we'll see continuously.
So she goes to art club, starts to enjoy that. And then quickly we get a scene where Fiona is she's done.
Yeah.
She's done.
She's over.
She's just losing her mind. Like 2 is having a 1 in the fucking 3, or she's like has like a baby in her arm.
She has 3 babies.
Yeah,
she has 3 babies. She gives, I think, one to the mom, one to the dad. She's like, I don't even know where babies 5 and 6 are.
And she has one in like.
She's about to leave. She's like leaving, and Jamie is like, what is going on? What do you have here? And she digs out a baby out of her back,
She has like a
satchel thing,
like a baby carrying sling or something.
She almost stole a baby.
The nice thing she does, though, because we're quickly seeing that 5 babies are very expensive and the parents are having constraints on their money, but Fiona says she's not going to charge them. She just wants out of this fucking madhouse. So immediately the parents are increasing their worry because now they don't even have a nanny. How are they going to afford babysitters or whoever to take care?
Knock, knock, knock at the door.
Yeah, not that we ever get babysitters in the future, but yes, there's a knock at the door. Well, actually, before that, Marnie says, I'll take care of them.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, what?
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if she was going to be like, I want to fuck my life up so hard. I'll
she
drop out of
like
school.
Her parents continue to like brainstorm ideas, and then she says it again and again. And then
they're so desperate that they shortly entertain the idea, and we get probably the weirdest and dumbest fake scene where we see Marnie. She's taking care of the kids. Oh, it's fine. But then one starts crying, she picks it up. Another starts crying, she picks it up.
Yeah, first she's sitting in this weird rocking chair that has like some weird device that's rocking all the cribs at once. Yep. And then, as it was saying, she's picking up the baby. She grows a 3rd arm to pick up one. Then she grows a 4th arm. But she only has 4 arms. She can't help the other 5th baby. So she's screwed. And that's when she realizes.
And then there's also like a bottle where she like needs to reach out for a bottle or something. So then her arm grows like Michael Jordan's in Space Jam to grab it. And then... yeah, then she just wakes up to reality and be like, actually, no, taking care of babies is not a good idea. And I'm like, yeah. I mean, I don't know like what Marnie's mental state is that she like just really doesn't want to have any expectations put on her, which taking care of babies, she would have plenty of, but just the idea that going to school and even being forced to do science is somehow worse than taking care of 5 kids. That does not jive with my own point of view.
Yeah.
But yes, finally we get to... somebody's at the door.
Knock, knock, knocking on Jamie's door.
And then we get introduced to Albert.
Albert.
Arguably the villain of the movie.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
He represents...
If not Fiona.
Cutie Pants diapers.
I honestly don't even know if he was through them or if he was just like a guy.
That's true.
He just happens to be there with the truck.
He's some kind of agent, a talent agent who represents babies, or at least is representing babies here.
Yeah.
That he's setting up with the parents that they can work with these companies like Cutie Pants, which is a diaper company, that they can get products and they can get paid for allowing the babies to be used in promotions or commercials, or they'll do interviews and news bits and stuff like that.
The babies are talking a lot sooner than other children, I'll tell you that.
None of these babies ever talk.
Interviews. That was the...
they interview the mom. Hey, I'm pretty sure he says it at some point. He sets up all their gigs, but the dad at first is like a little bit suspicious, and he says, why would people pay us money? And Albert just says, Quints. And the dad's like, oh yeah, okay, that makes sense.
He buys in right then and there.
Everybody in this universe understands the significance of Quints.
Well, they're the first quintuplets born in the state. And whatever state it is.
We do get to meet the governor of the state, but we still don't know what state
Don
it
Knotts.
is. Yeah.
Holla.
Not even a joke. So the family's set up with money. They got sitters, which we never see, but they're less stressed out, and they're very focused on kind of... The mom becomes much more of a stage mom with managing the Quints and really building their brand, to use a modern turn of phrase. And Marnie is sure to let us know at this point that this movie is still about her. I know there's Quints in the picture now, but hey... It's kind of a weird thing for her to be like, I don't want attention on me, but this movie's about me. Please pay attention about me for the sake of this story.
Yes.
Because I'm going to grow. And she does, to be fair.
A couple inches.
As far as DCOM characters go, she has some of the most growth in a movie.
Since the beginning of the movie, it's been at least a year.
It's Quints. But Albert, in a side conversation with Marnie, tells her, hey, it's important for you to pursue your own interests. You don't need to be caught up with the Quints.
Really trying to get her out of the picture. Just like Fiona. He wants her gone.
So it's not immediately clear here, but it becomes clear that he wants her out of the picture because it doesn't really work for a fun, exciting image of these quintuplets for the parents to also have a 14-year-old daughter.
Yeah, it's kind of creepy, really.
What the fuck is wrong with it? Quints? All right, and then Marty is finally starting to see and find that she really enjoys art. The art teacher says she seems to have talent as well, which is leading to her starting to change her mind about what school she potentially wants to try to go for. She might just... I think it's like between like the magnet school and just like the public high school.
Yeah, Milford High.
They didn't know back in 2000 how that name could be misconstrued.
Oof.
I hear there's a
MILF.
Mom in Milford that has 5
Momford High. Momherd.
Yes, okay.
Momherd.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, this could read like somebody's very specific fetish porn of... The town is Milford, and there's a mother who has 5 children in her swollen belly.
Yikes.
Yes,
moving on.
The name of the porno is It's Quints.
He's watched it.
All right. Albert is really pushing the mom to become obsessed again with the marketing of the Quints.
Yes. And he says that not once, twice, 3, 4. It's just, he'll
say
it
at least 5 times.
Yeah, at least quintuplets of times. He'll say it straight to Jamie too. Like he says, remember, this is all about the Quints. Not about you. Like he says that to her.
It's the title of the movie, but Jamie tries to protest and say, no, the movie's actually about me.
But Albert is fighting that right.
And Marnie does not like this. She tells
she's starting to not...
At school, she's like, it's Quints.
Yeah.
And I'll have to say, at this point, I've said Quints enough that I've kind of become numb to it. But going into this movie, I really did not like the name or word Quints. It just sounds like...
you love it.
It sounds like something that...
Quints.
It could be like a slur of some kind.
Okay.
But it's not.
Such.
It's perfectly fine until we turn it dirty and ruin it. So, but something for her artistic output, Marnie has been drawing the babies a bunch. So she's starting to know them perfectly, their different facial features.
Based on the teacher's recommendation, he had her try to draw her friend.
Oh. Yeah, it's just like, the teacher's like, how about you get on some of this Quints stuff too? You should draw the Quints.
And Albert was pissed because he knew she was coming for the...
I own the rights to these pictures, the Quints. But something else she's picked on as she's been drawing them is just kind of their own behaviors and how to manage them.
Their facial features and their little quirks each of them has. And she tests this out to her parents.
Because they come in and one of the babies is crying.
Yes.
And she's like, oh, that's so-and-so. Pick them up.
Because they'll keep crying if you don't pick them up, or she'll stop when the other babies are all crying or something.
It gets weird because it's like, oh, pick up the crying baby.
But then they're like, gotcha, that's not the right one.
Yeah, she says, pick up this baby. And they pick up like a baby that's not crying and be like, how do you not know what baby is which? And it's like, at least they would be able to get the right one that's crying. But I think maybe they pick up the one that's crying and they're like, oh, here, Adam. And she's like, bitch, that's Eddie.
That's Eddie. He's got the smile. Well, and because she shows them the picture that she drew of Eddie, who's just always happy. It's a big baby face.
It's like, oh yeah, Eddie has to be smiling. Otherwise, he's dead.
Yeah, more or less. And Adam's just always the fat one.
Yeah, Adam's the biggest. Charlie, he's got a little attitude.
Yeah, oh, and the girls are always... Can't remember.
Debbie, she's Daddy's little girl. And other one that we don't remember.
They make another penis joke because the dad's like looking in the diaper because he thinks it's a girl that he's holding, and he looks in the pants and there's a penis.
Yeah.
So it was,
So the parents were like, well, that was fucked up, but they also are realizing that it's also kind of fucked up. It's fucked up and it's fucked up that we don't know our own kid.
Marnie's Jamie says the whole, you have
I have
5 babies, not Quints. You have 5
I wonder if
babies.
you know you have 5 babies and not just one set of Quints.
Yeah.
How about you think about that?
True, and they do. It grows on them over the time.
And then again, she says, this is really more about me than the Quints.
Yes,
being like, hey, this
always about Jamie.
It's about me.
That's true.
So the dad comes into her room after she tells her parents off. Then it's later that night she's in her room. The dad comes in and apologizes. And he says, you know what? I do feel bad for not knowing them apart. But he's some kind of weird... This didn't really completely make sense to me. That he's worried because he can't come up with a plan.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe since he can't come up with a good plan, he has to fall back on this marketing strategy. But then maybe he's so up with trying to come up with a plan that he's not actually paying attention to the kids. It's not clear, but he knows he loves them, and that's what's important.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And Marnie says something, and his dad's like, I love you just about as much as the day you were born, which implies that he loves her less. He's gradually loved her less over time.
True.
Which is quite funny.
Caught that, too.
So Marnie, on a later day, finally gets the courage to tell her mom that she's not going to be doing the science fair anymore.
Yes.
And she tells her mom when I think they're preparing for a commercial or something on their front lawn. She's there with Zoe, and she just says, hey, Mom, I'm not going to do the science fair.
And she didn't really even hear her, did she?
No, the mom did not react at all.
So then she says to Zoe, you heard it. I said it. And then Zoe, I can vouch for you. I heard it. You said it.
And so that's all it takes. And then somehow she gets mad when her mom doesn't know about things. But
like the parent-teacher conference.
Yep. So yeah, generally the mom is obviously too busy with the Quints promotion. She's not paying attention. But in a later scene, she says, oh, I know we're kind of being negligent, but hey, parent-teachers conferences, fun time, right? We'll be there. No. And they aren't.
They aren't. And she's pissed because Brad's parents didn't show up. She's more pissed Brad's parents didn't show up than her own. No, Brad doesn't really care about his own parents. He's more pissed that Jamie's parents didn't show up.
Yeah, so Brad is there at the parent-teacher conference, and Brad's like, looks like you've been stood up, Marnie. And he's like, fuck you. Or she's like, fuck you. And Brad's like, no, fuck you. And this is where I'm like, well, Brad doesn't seem to be with his parents either, and that was intentional. Fun little attention to detail building up over time with that. Yeah. Then Marnie comes home and is just really, again, sticking it to her parents, having much more ammunition. Well, she already had plenty of ammunition before that they didn't know the names of her kids.
Her dad also deals weapons. So.
But the mom and dad are like, oh, we're really sorry, but we know what'll make it up to you. we're working on this commercial for the Quints. How about
we want you to be a part of it?
Make it a family commercial. The Quints is our family business.
Quints. I mean, and also they pitched the idea to Albert, and he's all on board. He's in. It's a family affair.
And we're like, this doesn't seem right. So the day of the commercial, we hear Albert talking to Jamie's dad, Marnie's
Won't come out of the trailer.
No, she won't come out of the truck.
Yeah,
and it's like that's weird because usually actors get trailers, but we see an actual like delivery truck for the Cutie Pants company.
Yeah.
And they open up the big back door.
Yes.
And she's just in the back of this truck in a diaper costume.
A big diaper.
Yeah, and it's very much a similar reveal to Ralphie in his bunny suit in A Christmas Story, where she's like, I don't want to be in this. Yes. I don't want to wear this.
And I don't know how the door shuts, but it shuts without her shutting it.
No, I didn't pick up on that. And then she apparently is not in the commercial, and they somehow are able to do it without the diaper mask out, which we really should put this home. Again, most importantly, another fetish for people out there.
Diapers.
But I definitely don't understand that.
There's a moth in here, but we'll try to ignore it. You might hear it smacking around, but ignore that too.
But they somehow are able to finish the movie or the commercial even without that important mascot.
She was telling them, call your people. Your people will come down here and they'll put on a shitty diaper.
So, yeah, she's pissed. And weirdly enough, the thing that finally like pushes Marnie forward to, I don't know, really stick it more to her parents is Brad. Brad is like, your parents fucking suck. And then she says, fuck you, Brad. And he's like, she says, well, your parents must love you because you're so smart and you get good grades all the time. You won the science fair. And Brad's like, you don't know anything. And this is where it comes out that Brad's parents basically don't care about him at all. And he would do anything to be able to get one look from his parents.
From her mother.
Yeah, from Marnie's mom, like Marnie's mom gives to her.
Yes.
So, feel kind of bad for Brad.
Yeah.
Feel bad for Marnie, but...
everybody just feels terrible.
Yeah. So, she decides, because Brad's telling her this, that she needs to tell her parents how she really feels. And she starts to have a crisis of consciousness where she's going about where she's like, I don't know where I want to go to school. My parents really want me to go to this school so I can get into college. And then there's a weird bit where the teacher comes by and it's like, hey, people from the public school can go to college.
True, and become very successful. And then people that go to college might not amount to anything.
Yeah. It doesn't matter if you go to college and graduate. And I'm like, this is one of those like, I am in this picture and I don't like it. Where it's like, hey, you might go to college and graduate and start a fairly unsuccessful podcast about Disney Channel original movies. I'll have you know, Mr. Art Teacher. Please like, comment, subscribe.
Comment, rate, subscribe.
Can't
thumbs up,
say
thumbs up.
It right. Yeah, that's how I can't grow my brand right. I don't have the call to action down. Just rattle it off.
Comment, rate, subscribe.
We can't say hit that bell because we don't have a YouTube channel yet. But
not yet.
Maybe soon. Yeah, Marnie learns from her teacher that she is going to be featured. She not only made it into the art exhibit at the school, but she's going to be featured as the one person for her grade.
All of her drawings. And you pointed that later when it comes up, but it is kind of weird that
it's a competition where
it's weird how he says class, but it's a club. Like she's doing them for the club. I just realized that. It's weird.
I don't know.
Anyways, there's a
beyond it being the only thing that happens at school. There's not a lot of attention given to. They didn't
analyze it as much as we are. Clearly, I mean, maybe they just misspoke and said class instead of club. Who knows? What it doesn't really matter.
Well, then why? How could she change classes in the middle of the school year? All right, so Marnie tells her parents about how she's going to be in the show.
Featured, and she's really happy about it, and her parents are really happy for her.
Well, actually, at first, they're like, why would we care about you getting an honor ever?
Yes, but this
we've never been excited about you. And then it was a fake out, but one of the less fantastical fake outs.
Yeah.
Because one of the things we forgot to mention is at the beginning of the movie, when she's introducing her life, she goes to school and there's a huge pep rally going on where there's the marching band, but there's really also clowns and fire breathers.
They're a lot more crazier. So this one, I guess, was maybe more believable, but not. We knew her parents weren't that shitty.
I don't know. Quints changed.
They really changed. Albert did. Shit.
But yeah, she actually tells her parents and they're really excited. They're like, oh, there's an award ceremony. Oh, yes, of course we'll be there. But literally the next conversation they have, once you know it, Albert swoops in and is like, hey, look what I have here. It's an invitation from the governor of this state that we reside in.
True.
Who's inviting you to accept the award of Parents of the Year.
Yes.
Later on, we find out that the babies are maybe 5 or 5.5 months old at this point. And really, they haven't done anything to really worth or gain Parents of the Year. So Marnie, hearing that they're going to have, because they're like, yeah, of course we'll fucking go to see the governor. It's the governor of
governor.
He's the governor of the state we live in. So she hears this, knows that it's at the same time. I guess we should mention that. It's at the same time as her art show. The parents saying, yeah, we'll go to this. So that means they're not going to the art show.
She gets fucking pissed.
So yeah, she
loses her fucking mind. That's not an understatement.
I would be able to relate. This is
I'd be pissy too.
It's a very emotional sequence where she rushes to school, goes into her art class, rushes past her friends, and just takes her art and starts tearing
ripping it up. Like Adam's ripped in half, little Eddie's ripped in half,
and Brad and Zoe are like, "Fucking stop!" And then
they pull her apart, and as they pull her apart, she has a small piece of paper that she just slowly continues to rip. Pretty much.
Marnie, could you stop? No.
And you can see the art teacher kind of creeping in the background as she starts to rant and rave. Like you probably remember much more of her.
Yeah,
rant than I do.
It's all fairly like believable and realistic stuff where she's just she struggled with. She had too much attention from her parents. She couldn't live up to their expectations she felt that they were putting on her, and now she just wants them to pay any amount of attention to her. Careful what you wish for, but it's just she's finally achieved something that she thought would make them happy. Finally live up to some of their expectations, and it's not apparently good enough for them. And I thought she was doing pretty good acting here. Based off of Halloween Town, I did not think this actress is much to write home about, but she definitely has improved in the year or two since Halloween Town to be in this. And the art teacher basically is able to talk her down, have her not completely tear everything up.
Yeah, I mean, at least we have a couple.
And says, hey, of course your parents would come, right? And actually, one of the things is like, Marnie, why are you so mad? And she's like, my parents are going to meet the governor. And Brad's like,
they're all like, that's awful.
I guess that's bad.
It's like, no, they said that they would come, but they chose the governor over me.
Yeah. So it's the day, or I don't know if it's even the day of everything. I think it's just a normal day. Marnie goes to school, but she gets called out of class because there's been an emergency.
Yes.
Where one of the babies, specifically Adam is sick.
Little chubby boy Adam.
And he's apparently going to be fine. It's not really clear what's wrong with him.
He was really hot fever. Who knows?
Yeah,
something like that.
Some kind of baby thing.
Yeah.
But they're looking at him in an observation window, and Marnie's like, he looks so helpless. And her mom says, he's a baby. He is helpless. And I was like, if you didn't say it, I was going to fucking say it.
True.
So that's a pretty funny moment. And this is where the parents start to open up about how when Adam got sick, he wasn't one of the Quints. He wasn't the Quints.
Yes.
He was Adam as an individual.
Yes.
And they start recognizing that they've been viewing the Quints as a unit rather than individuals, and almost, I don't know if they quite get into them kind of commodifying them, but that's implied maybe a little bit here. No. And then Albert comes in. Oh, actually before this, Marnie finally is able to open up about her concerns about living up to her parents' expectations. She says, hey, I know you wanted me to do science, but that wasn't really my thing, and I'm doing really good in art, and isn't that enough that like I'm enjoying it and I'm happy? And her parents, a good decom moment, say, yeah, of course. We only wanted these really lofty expectations, good things for you because we wanted you to be happy, thinking this is what it was needed for you. But if you're happy with art, I mean, sure. How are you going to make a living? But no, they don't say that. They're like, yeah, sure. Go and pursue art. That's awesome. And then Albert comes in
with his cheesy fucking grin, little rat boy.
Whoa. I think Albert's kind of handsome.
I
mean, I was also kind of pitching parts of this as a porno, so Albert played a very prominent part in my mind.
Oh, golly.
But he comes in, and he's just like, spouting business bullshit where he's like, we got gigs, we got the money, he's got a calculator, he's like, shit, he's gonna be out for a week. We fucking boned.
We can find a substitute. We can find a subby.
Yeah,
we can sub him out. We know how old is he?
30 years old is all the rest of them. Damn it, he's 5 months old.
Oh, jeez, who was that?
That was the mother and
the
father.
Was that Fiona the nanny coming back?
She peeks in and she corrects him.
Yeah, it's crazy that he is proposing they just get a replacement
substitute.
Baby. Because
just for the week.
They were in the news. I mean, it would have been a birth announcement anyways, but he mentions at one point that it would have been greater if they were identical quintuplets.
Yes.
But if they're not, and you could just get a replacement baby, couldn't you just fucking fake having 5 babies?
5 kids? You have like
I feel like Albert would have tried that already.
That is true.
But seeing how kind of business focused he is and very much seeing the Quints as a unit and a commodity, the parents wake up and are like, you know what? It's Quint. It's been Quints, Albert. But we're going to kick you to the door. So Albert is out. Everybody's mostly happy and made up. Marnie recognizes that, hey, I like art, but I'll be liking art for a while. But there's only one chance that my parents can meet the governor and get Parents of the Year. Because let me tell you, they ain't going to be able to keep up with this shit. They fucking suck.
True.
So she decides, hey, I'll watch the Quints, miss the art show. You guys go meet Governor, what's his name again?
Don Knotts.
Don Knotts.
Who plays, he was in a lot. I know him from the Anna Griffith show he played.
I think that's probably what
the
most
deputy
people would know. So
Barney Fife.
So the parents go to the dinner, meet the governor, and he's fucking pissed. He's like, where the goddamn babies?
The parents show up and they're like, we didn't know you would want them. He's like, why else would I want you here without the kids?
What? You thought I wouldn't want 5 screaming babies at my ritzy dinner? Well, you're fucking wrong.
That's what he says.
How about all 7 of you? So then they call back home, or somehow Marnie figures out that they want the babies.
Yeah, she said to him that she called a cousin who called somebody and says they're on their way. It was weird.
So Marnie gets together with Zoe and Brad and the art teacher in his like VW van to drive the babies.
And it breaks down or something.
Yeah, it breaks down, so they have to take the bus.
The subway.
And then the subway.
And then they meet motorcycle people that they ride their motorcycles that we don't see.
Or they're just motorcycle gang members on a subway, which is weird. And you would think they would always be on their hogs revving it up everywhere. I think so,
but maybe they broke down like the V-dub. And then the
babies are too heavy to carry.
And then each one of the biker gang members carries in a baby, and they hand off the babies to like the Secret Service people or like the bodyguards of the governor's each one and
entourage. And the governor's like, fucking A!
He was scared. He was
Quints!
He got pumped, but he was scared when the bikers came in because the one guy's like, "Her." He was making like some weird noises, and he handed the baby off. But
then they were like, "Oh, they're so cute. I fucking love Quints." And the governor's like, "Yeah, I can get down with this." So once the babies get dropped off, the governor is happy, and he says, "You know what, Marnie? You and your friends, let me give you your driver. He can take you fucking anywhere.
Ice cream."
Yeah.
But not really. That was like one of her minor little lies.
Yeah.
Like, it was like literally like, you know where we went to go get ice cream. And then she's like, just kidding. You know where I would really go? And it was like, it was
so
weird.
A lot of these she sets up as, well, if you were paying attention, you would know this was fucking bullshit. And it's like, I can see how that's kind of like fun for somebody just normally watching it, but it's like, we are watching it probably more meticulously than anybody watching this. I'm sitting there fucking taking notes, so no, Marty, you're not going to get one over on me. I am definitely paying attention.
Yeah.
So yes, they don't get ice cream. They go to the school just in time for the art show, and they have a final ceremony to give somebody an award because they wanted to make art competitive, even though, you know, everybody will say art is subjective. For somebody, Quints is the greatest movie of all time.
Yes.
And that somebody is me.
and what I've thought funny about the awards thing is like she knows she's the center of attention, like it's all around her tonight. And she's like also surprised when she wins the award for like...
I was surprised too because they said Jamie Grover. And I've been writing Marnie so much in my notes. I'm like, oh, she didn't fucking win? And it's like, no, she did win. And yeah, she does the beauty pageant, like hands. Oh my God. Oh, thank you, Zoe. It was good, even though Zoe didn't get to make it in because assumingly she's in the same grade as Marnie.
She made like clay blobs. Yeah. That's really all we
So yeah, all of her pictures unsurprisingly, are of the babies. That's what was entered for her for the exhibit.
Yeah.
The exhibit that was actually a competition.
And she's up there, and then we hear the governor's voice, I think. I think that's how it was.
Well, it's she's up there, and maybe she has a bit of a narration where she's, oh, well, this is cool, but man, I wish somebody else was here. And that somebody else is the governor of the state I live in. But yeah, the governor comes in with the parents, and
Burst
they're like,
the door, and he's all...
And she's like, what are you doing here? You're parents of the year. And they're like, that's right. And we told the governor that really, if we're parents of the year, we probably shouldn't leave our one daughter alone.
And I mean, the governor has like a full flip around. He was like pissy at his mansion, and now he's all like gleeful, and he's all happy to be here, and he's just a full 180. He really
takes... Yeah, he's an up and down character. Too. Yeah, and at some point, she's like, oh, governor, why were you here? And he's like, I don't remember what he says, but it might have well just been like, I fucking love Quints. And it's like, okay, thank you, Grandpa, for being here. And then we get a final bit of different talking to the cameras and narration where Marnie's like, hey, I kept doing art, kept getting better. Even my grades got better. You know what? I made it into that school. But guess what? I didn't go. And it's like, oh, cool that we're supposed to be like, good, Marnie, for not trying too hard. Like, you got the thing you wanted, but actually now I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'm not going to try that hard. No. She seems to be drawing baby pictures, which... As an artist, you eventually have to grow.
Yes.
Pablo Picasso used to paint realistically, but then he invented Cubism and really pushed the envelope for art.
Wow. Good old art major here.
You know, like Marnie. I was not an art major.
No.
That's not the reason why I went to college and was unsuccessful. I was not an art major. And then she's sitting down to eat breakfast or something with her family, and there's a last little bit, and she's like, well... One more thing, and then...
The newspaper drops or something.
Her mom's reading the newspaper, covering herself up, and she lowers it, and then we see that her mom's pregnant.
With 7
It might as well have been
kids.
like Psycho music sting, like... Dun, dun, dun. It's like, this bitch is fucking crazy. How irresponsible of a mother is she?
So she's gonna have 10 kids. But the thing is, this whole scene too, Jamie's writing. She's like sketching something. We see her sketching something. And as soon as she does this...
She turns to the camera, as you said, that... It's septuplets. 7. She puts up her fingers. Yeah. And then she says, just kidding. And then she holds up her notebook.
Made you look.
So then we're left with, is it the final unreliable narration where it's like, was her mom even pregnant?
That's what we're left to.
What else are we looking at? You're the one telling us we're looking at her fingers maybe? Like, I don't know what we're supposed to take away. And
maybe they were setting up for a sequel.
What if she was
the potential
saying,
for a sequel.
What if she was saying, made you look? About us watching
the movie,
the whole movie,
and there was never 5.
None of it was real. It was all just about her.
Oh my,
dude, fucking Quints, man! Holy shit!
True.
Do we need to find that person's Tumblr page of theses about decoms?
Definitely onto something. I'll tell you that
about the unreliable narrator, the author's intent of Quints. Yes. So that's Quints, and I'd have to say, especially discussion-wise, I don't know, I feel like this is one of the more enjoyable, at least, discussions of the movies, and honestly, I didn't really mind Quints.
No,
I think it was probably above average in a lot of ways.
There were a couple annoying parts, like I think Fiona was just an annoying cunt. But more so there was maybe like one scene where they were all kind of crying, and that's just what babies do, obviously.
They didn't play up the crying, they didn't play up the poopy pee too much. We didn't mention the scene where Albert gets peed on by one of the kids.
There were a lot of pee jokes. Like there was one about Zoe getting
peed on if she was helping change diapers. A
boy or something.
Because boys, are more, I guess because, their penis comes up to pee.
Yeah.
So I'm told.
Yeah. But no, it wasn't what we thought we were getting into.
Yeah, going into it, hearing the name Quints, knowing it's about Marnie, who I did not like in Halloween Town, having 5 kids, and she's some only child who's like, my parents give me too much attention. It's like, this sounds terrible. Also, it only had like a few paragraphs on Wikipedia for its summary, which
only had 2 quotes.
Which usually indicates that it's not a movie that somebody cared enough about.
Yeah.
Anybody in the world, like Ready to Run, you can't find anything about that movie online because it's fucking bad. But Quints, honestly, as I said, I think it's above average because in a lot of ways, even with...
It brought some new aspects, or it expanded on aspects of other DCOM.
Because it's one of those things where it is, as Marnie says, it's about a girl finding herself, but there's not a sport in it.
Not a love interest.
There's not a love interest. It's about a family, but it's not a situation where it's a movie where there's a bunch of other problems going on with the family just being one of them.
Yeah, a unit. It's not many different stories. You're not following. Yeah,
it's very focused.
Multiple
and
characters. It's all around her.
Well developed, and overall, I think the growth that Marnie goes through makes sense, is believable. Yeah. Careful what you wish for. It all.
I think that's a movie coming up too.
I'm sure.
That might be another movie.
Brad, the secret tidbits and subplot of Brad's parents not caring about
that could be
him.
A whole sequel. That could be a side show. That's where
Sideshow Brad.
That's where the Even Stevens show came from. I honestly think that guy's in that show.
The Even Stevens show came from Quints?
I think the actor is from there.
I mean, there was 5...
Twitty, I think his name
Well, actually,
is.
we find out that there was multiple babies playing all the babies, so, hey, one of those babies could be in a future DCOM.
Oh, God.
We don't know.
That's true.
So, that's all I have to say about Quints. Anything else for you to add, Jacob?
I just had a bad memory of the Fiona just like wrecking the whole movie when I was younger. It just must have been just that terrifying. And she still is, but it wasn't as bad as I remembered it, obviously. So, no, it's a good movie. Yeah.
All right. Well, here's the part where I say the things that nobody really listens to.
No,
such as
they're gone.
You can email us at awholenewpod@gmail.com. I suggest composing your email to awholenewpod@gmail.com. Subject line, it's Quints. Body of the letter, it's Quints. And that will be an acceptable thing.
Yes.
Rate us, review us on iTunes or Apple Podcasts.
Comment, rate, subscribe,
5 stars, body of the review, it's Quints.
Yes.
If you can, I don't know exactly how Google Play works, but you can try us out on there. Follow us on Spotify or whatever various podcatchers you can
copy or link to our podcast. Share it on Snapchat as a link. People can listen to it that way too.
You can program your Instagram stories to swipe up?
Yeah.
Swipe up to Quints.
Up to our chaos. Post it on your Facebook stories.
And then, follow us on Twitter at a whole new pod.
Text it to your whole text chain.
All one word. It's been quite a while since the Twitter account has been updated.
We'll get there.
Which is maybe a silver lining that Jacob has not been utilizing it to try to win Twitter contests. So there's that. Yes. You can follow Jacob at
Jacob_Telejohn, JACOB_TELLIJOHN.
And I think that's it. The next movie we have coming up, whenever it will be, because it might be a little bit more of a delay because we have a special guest who will want to be on it. It's called The Other Me, and we'll just leave it up to a mystery. We've had 2 guests on this show. Who do you want to come back? Who will actually come back? Stay tuned.
Da, da, da.
And I don't think there's anything else we can say for the closing of this episode except it's Quints. We did it together, almost, kind of. Debbie.
To Debbie. To Debbie.
Eddie.
Eddie. Eddie?
You're gonna need this.
Huh? Thanks.
I think you're gonna need these more.
Thanks.
This is so amazing.
No, it's more than amazing. It's, I don't know.
It's Quints.